What's up guys, back in today with another reaction to the Berserk manga, and this time I'll be reacting to the two chapters, Elf, Bugs and Berserk, the prototype. Now last three chapters are absolutely awesome, getting to know Jill a bit more, to know her family, to know the village people, who are all very afraid of these elves, which are understandable. We saw them absolutely ravage through people, even cows last episode, in an instant just like that, they just got torn to bones. It was crazy. I loved where we left off though. The last panel of last chapter with Guts swatting these little elves. They are elves, aren't they? Again, there's lots of terminology. They look like pixies to me, but there's quite a few kind of similar looking mythological, I guess, creatures like that, isn't there? Is that the right word? Mythological, I guess so. But yeah, really awesome last three chapters. Again, very much a new kind of direction we're going on now. Well, still the same kind of dark and dreary direction and gore and such. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the start to this new arc, the Conviction arc, I think it's called. So yeah, can't wait to see what's to come with this. I did get a few comments about the Berserk, the prototype chapter. I think they did say it's another one that could be skipped, just like with the lost chapters. I think they mentioned it's like a prototype for the series. I thought it was a prototype as in like maybe a new kind of weapon that Guts would use or something along those lines, but turns out it's actually more of a kind of literal prototype for the series. So I'd be interested to see what that is about. I am going to cover that in today's chapters, so just the two to finish off this one. So the last couple of videos have been a bit longer than usual, so I guess this kind of goes against that, and this one's probably going to be a little bit shorter, but hopefully you look forward to it anyway. Do let me know what you guys think of these chapters though down in the comment section. Leave a like on the video if you guys do like, and subscribe to the channel if you do want to keep up to date with these reactions, and we'll get right into it. This, yeah, I will just go back quickly and see where we left off. Again, I love this shot right here. There's so many little swatted little elves. I did bring up as well, they look much more like insects, especially with this little kind of, not sure what to call it, body. It's like the body of a bee on its back. They definitely don't look like Puck, is what I'll say. But yeah, I love this shot right here. And it looks like we're starting off with another one quite similar. All these faceless elves stare at us. Yeah, look at that. Just stained across his massive sword. Like 10 elves. Look at this one, look at his legs, bloody hell. Look at all their legs. Jesus Christ. That is ruthless. I shot of Guts' arm right here as well. Okay. And just swipe them off. Just clean it. Conviction arc, Lost Children chapter, Elf Bugs. So yeah, they are kind of elf bugs, aren't they? And I think that might be the demonic side. The kind of bug side is the demonic side, which is quite funny when you think about it. There was something similar in the obviously it wasn't demonic, but slightly demonic in a few scenes in Hunter x Hunter. I think that's just quite a good kind of way to go with the insects, because of how they work, how they kind of work as a unit, especially like ants, for example. Like these they got the kind of antennas of ants and such. It was almost like a bit of an evil organization, all following the Queen's word, doing everything they could for the Queen, dying for her. I've never heard anyone call an ant colony an evil organization, but I guess it is quite similar. Awesome short Guts there though. Getting plenty of really cool shots of Guts. Some of the best shots we've had of Guts in these this volume. Again, he's just looked a bit more demonic than usual, hasn't he? Which makes sense, of course. Hey, look, from yesterday. This person's brave enough to take a peek out of their house. Got big holes in there. I imagine those elves can probably, as we saw last episode though, to be fair, those elves can fit through those holes quite easily, but they could also just break down the door if they wanted to. We've seen them ravage through cows and pigs. I think they can take a wooden door. So it's kind of futile, isn't it? And we saw them break down a door last episode, so why? He was just out on the street. Everyone must think he's a crazy man. What's this? Is this a splattered elf's hand? Let's play. You're really gonna say that after you just saw your comrades just get smoked, just absolutely smoked? Bloody hell! Oh yeah, so here are their faces. Yeah, they do look like the kind of main demon elf, don't they? They look like it's offspring, perhaps. Some of them even got little boobs. Interesting. So yeah, I imagine they're her offspring. What did she do to have this offspring? That's the question. Elves, huh? So they got like 5. Are they eyeballs? I was gonna say they got 5 eyes. 2 big ones, small ones, antenna, wings, obviously. But they've also got these things on their back, which I don't know what for. Maybe that's what they use to ravage through things. Those things on their back. Dad, Mum, hey kid. You want revenge from Mummy and Daddy? Or else, do you want to go with these things? Okay. Help out then. Yeah, this poor fucking kid, by the way. Seeing your mother and father get de-skinned like that. Not really sure what the best word is for it. Just that's the thing. They got skinned, but they also got all their meat eaten. They just turned to bones. I'm not sure what to call that. De-skeletal meated. Deleted for short. Demeated. Wait, Jill. Wait. Hey. I'm telling you, it'd be best to sit tight in the windmill shed. This is dangerous. 100%. Come on, quit it. This is bad news. Ah! What are you doing, Guts? Are you trying to lure him in? Just put the boy at the top of the fucking tip of your sword. Isn't that really interesting? It looks like we're trying to bait them. How dare he? Dear God. Indeed. Poor fucking kid. How high must that be as well? At least like 4 meters off the ground, probably. Maybe even more. But there he goes again. Oh crap, looks like there's a swarm of them. Doesn't look like there's too many here, which is the ones currently here at the minute, I think, but Look at this. They're all flowing in now. Poor fucking kid. And off they go. Yeah, looks like this was a trap. Not sure why he'd need to use the kid as a trap here. I mean, could he not just use himself as the trap? Maybe he wanted them to be a bit higher up, but surely that'd just be worse for you. I don't see the reason for the kid being bait here. Like, they were going to attack Guts anyway, right? Are we running? This fucking kid. Imagine, because that's not like secure or anything. Look at this. It's like hanging on by quite literally a few threads. Especially with the sharpness of the sword as well. That's because it's so big, it's not actually... It's actually less likely to cut that. But, even so, if this kid just flies off there by accident, he's dead. Quite a dangerous game we're playing here. Yeah, it looks like we're trying to lure him somewhere. Yeah, I imagine they're going to have quite a bit of fun with this, playing a bit of chase. They're quite childlike, these elves, aren't they? Yeah, yay, yay. Yeah, they are. They look happy. Hopefully they don't in a minute. Got strangled the kid, bloody hell. This poor little kid. This poor little kid, man. Oh, wow. Really is taking this kid right to the edge, isn't he? Right on the brink of death. Giving him a little taste of the Guts experience. Yeah. Wait. Oh god, they're here. They're on him. Hope they don't eat for his legs. So he took a turn. So this barn's already been eaten through. Pigs. The eaten pig that we saw last episode. Like I said, the wood really can't hold these things back. What's this? That's a cow. Just look at this face. It's sad, isn't it? I'm not the biggest fan of pigs ever. I don't hate pigs. I don't think I've ever actually met a pig in real life. I live in England, which is quite funny. I've seen them, obviously, but don't think I've ever like touched one or anything. Which again is probably quite unexpected, considering I live in England. Seem quite a matter of farm animals, but you got nothing against them. But sad looking pig here, isn't it? Sad looking pig. Ratata. It is horrified as you would be. Here they are. This flurry of lights. This guy's looking for a pat on the head. Calm down, son. The thing is, they actually do look quite cute. But they are demonic. Chuck the kid down. Don't move. The end? Already? Already over? Is that the end? Boring. Oh my god. Holy crap, maybe they're not quite cute. What the hell is this? They like transform? Boring, 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 boring. Yeah, it looks like they transform. Jesus Christ. Yeah, not so cute now. Not so cute now. And they do have these giant things on their back now. Interesting. So they have their kind of elf form and this kind of or insect-like form. But both have kind of parts of the other as well. Damn. But there's a little. This is a nightmare. This is. Got loads of demonic little fucking wasps. I think I mentioned maybe a couple of episodes ago. I hate wasps. Wasps are awful. Yeah, this would be a nightmare. Loads of little demonic creatures. As someone that's powerful and as strong as guts, it's really quite the antithesis of goes against that, doesn't it? It's not how hard can you hit it. It's not how can you deal with the most lethal blow. It's like you've got so many of these things. How can you take these all out at once? Because if you don't, you're gonna get fucked. Horrible little fucking things, aren't they? Really cool designs though. Really like these kind of half transformed faces to these kind of fully transformed ones. And you see that little bit of the full design right here. And these little hairs on them. That is pretty fucking awesome. Some kind of vermin. Yeah, that's a good word for it. These dirty little vermin. I love that word, vermin. I knew it. Yeah, here's the full transformation, and again they look just like wasps. Horrible little fuckers. Yeah, look at this cape. Just does so much, doesn't it? I mention this every time, but it just does so much. I love this. Love this edition of this cape. I feel alone and tired. Here they come. Guys just tearing this place apart. Honestly, you've got to, haven't you? You've got to swing in every direction, every possible opportunity they have from above, from below. You've got to swing everywhere. You've got to try and hit everything, because if not, a couple of these guys will ravage you a little bit if they get close to you, won't they? I mean, I don't think it'll be quite as quick as they've done the cow and the pig, for example, if only a few of them get to you, but they'll still do some damage, I imagine. They'll still do some damage. I only think it's as relentless as we saw because so many of them at once attacked. Like 100 versus one cow, just like instantly over. And what's good is if we do take this place down, all the ones in here, even if the place comes down on guts as well, it's going to come down on all these elves. So maybe that's the plan. We're going to take them down and we're going to take this building down with us and take them all down at the same time. Because we'll survive this building coming down. They won't. Just because of the scaling of the size of these guys. Is that a grenade? It's like gunpowder, perhaps, coming out the top there. Honestly, pretty good idea. Again, you need something big. Oh no, that is just gunpowder, I think. A pot of gunpowder. So man's got grenades. You can make custom grenades in this time period, I do imagine, to be fair. I'm not saying I know how to make a grenade or anything, but I imagine it's possible. And yeah, he's using the cannon. Good idea. Maybe not as useful as versus a bigger enemy, a usual kind of demon, because it doesn't. It's powerful. Like I said earlier, it's powerful, but it doesn't encompass a massive area. Again, don't get me wrong, it encompasses quite a big area, but all these guys won't be dead from this. As we see here, it's just like a straight shot. Take up like maybe 45 degrees. The smoke might get, can they? I'm not sure, because they're so small. Would that amount of smoke in their system just kill them, perhaps? They are demons as well, though, so they're not as easy to kill as a normal elf, probably, either. Here they go, just getting decimated. Cuts gets shot through the building with the recoil, it seems. And he lands pretty nicely. Cape on his head. As what would probably happen in real life. Love to see that. And with like the superhero stuff, they just want to try and make it look as cool as possible. Like the cape comes down, everything looks perfect. This would probably be the most likely case. Your cape would be over your head like this. The details are just insane in this series, aren't they? And yeah, the whole place is it looks like that cannon did do a bit of a better job than I thought it did. So it took the whole fucking building down, which is a good plan. Very good plan. Shame for the person who's building it was, but I mean, I guess they'd rather be alive than have a building. Kid just gets away. Just. And that seems to be the end of a lot of those elves. I imagine there's probably more, though. There's at least one more. Over there! Ah! Kid, got no family anymore, which sucks ass, but nice that he finds comfort under Guts' cape. Right there, running under it, running to him. Man that saved him. But also quite the scary figure as well, I imagine, as a kid. I'd be terrified of Guts if I was a kid. Even if he saved my life. Look at him. Yeah, he's absolutely shaken. You made a good lure, boy. Watch. Bugs burn. Real nice. Yep, these ones do. That's nice. Oh, kind of messed up by. You probably say that about a lot of things in this series. A little bit of revenge, some nice revenge. The bugs burning around the kid, falling. There's Puck and Jill. Jill, look. Yeah, here's the big boss. So next chapter, is it following on from this, or is it something completely different? Again, the way the comments from last, well, it was actually from a few chapters ago for you guys, because I'm kind of pre-recording this in advance, but my video from last week, as of when I'm recording this, kind of seemed like it's not following up on this at all. It kind of seemed like something completely new, so I guess we'll find out in a second, but honestly, I want to see what happens here. Now the big bad elf demon has arrived. A few of our followers. Again, I suspected that not all of them were there and died, but I imagine that was a huge bunch. There was a whole lot. Conviction arc, lost children, elf bugs end. Okay, now we got the prototype. Okay, cool. So we've got some explanation of it, and it does look like we are. Guts has got an eye patch in this one. It does look like this is slightly different art style, slightly different Guts design, isn't it? But yeah, we've got an actual description as well. Berserk, the prototype. So does this... Oh, that's a cool fucking... But look at that at the end. That's a cool fucking... That looked awesome. That artwork there. Yeah, it looks like I was a bit scared that we might not carry this on. I mean, obviously we were going to at some point, but looks like we do carry that on at the start of the next volume. So it looks like it is a little bit more than just one chapter of this left, which is nice to know. To say, it seems like a strange decision if there's just one chapter left and they put that chapter at the start of the next volume. I guess it'd give more incentive to buy it, but strange decision that would have been. The story is a submission piece created by Kento Miura during college. So this is like, yeah, this is the real prototype of Berserk, the Berserk before Berserk, the essence almost, which became the basis for what is now Berserk. The establishment of details, worldview, and whatnot differs at point from the Berserk series being published today, but the intent is still present in its early incarnation. This story is set after the conclusion of the Band of the Hawk story arc, as we can see from the design. It's interesting that did he know that he was designing this for after the Band of the Hawk, or did he create the Band of the Hawk stuff to supply his kind of story that he had going on at the time? Artwork still was fucking awesome as usual, isn't it? Artwork still as awesome as usual. It looks like these guys did not have the nicest deaths. So they all had they got poles up their asses. Lovely. Huh. That's a little too much for scarecrows. And I kind of want to just carry on the story that we were reading. It's a bit of a shame this is here now. I wonder why he decided to put it right here, right now in this, rather than the kind of start of a different volume or something, or at the end of like a storyline or something. It seems like quite a strange decision, but I guess we'll carry on next storyline in the next volume if you guys just wanted to read that. But yeah, we'll cover this quickly, I guess. Again, probably going to be quite a short episode today. That's a little too much. That's a little much for scarecrows. Again, Guts looks real different, doesn't he? This eye patch changes quite a lot. Hand looks quite skinny. Looks a bit like Snake Plissken. The eye patch like that. Are you scared? What? You scared, Puck? It's nice to see that, just from the kind of opening 2 pages, that so much of his original intent has been carried over to the actual story. Oh, there's Puck. I was gonna say, where is he? I see his little 2 eyeballs right there. Ah. Oh wow, looks like Griffith. Don't move. Don't move. Moving, I'll split you in 2, starting with the sweet spot. I think that is a woman though, isn't it? From the shoes. It really looks like Griffith. It really looks like Griffith. Got a big head. But I'm watching One Piece. My own time. Watched loads of episodes. I gotta say, those characters have, I think I've said this before, those characters have the biggest mouths I've ever seen. It does do quite a lot for the emotion and the exaggeration of the facial expressions. Again, as ridiculous as it actually looks, actually again does a lot in terms of kind of making you feel those emotions just I mean, you know that they're like, oh my god, at something, but you really know they're they're fucking surprised at something in One Piece. So I actually think it's quite a good thing, as again, as strange as it looks sometimes. You don't want to be cut in half, do you? Then you'll get skewered like them up on that hill, just on our skewers. What a horrible time. Hey! Ow! Arrow? Roll. Oh. a lot of strange sound effects right there. Eek! Boss? Damn, all these guys getting the arrow treatment. Again, the artwork is just as good as what we've been seeing, isn't it? Especially considering this is like the first version. This is really awesome. What was this shot? They really got to show that. Put some pants on the man, dude. Put some pants on the man. Oh, there's the guts. He looked quite a bit skinnier than what we just saw in the last chapter, doesn't he? And it looks like he's got a holdable crossbow rather than one on his arm. Still got throwing knife. One throwing knife. One. I wonder how useful that is. Yeah, this Viking looking man taken down, one shot. And definitely a few slight changes that actually same kind of hair, but other than that, some very slight changes that do kind of change the definition of his face, don't they? Again, this girl really does look like a knockoff fucking Griffith. Ah, what the hell? There's nothing here. At least carry some food. Stingy little. Watch! Like one of them's still alive. Joy, it almost reminds me a lot of Hugh Jackman in Wolverine. This shot here. Oh damn. That is a nice shot right there. How come then? This was the prototype. This is a sick shot. How come? Maybe they got him to censor a little bit. I'm not sure what the point of that was. You can't really tell this guy to censor anything. Fucking stories he comes up with. But yeah, maybe they told him to censor or go a little bit lightly at the start, because we did see when things were like cut in half like this, there wasn't anything coming out of them. There was no like guts or like body parts or anything kind of blowing out of them. For a while, for a few volumes, and then it started kind of getting more detailed, and there was more of that. Again, maybe they told him to kind of settle down on that kind of stuff when they were actually publishing it, but looks like he was not afraid to do that at the start here. Look at this. Again, it took a fair few volumes for us to get stuff like this. But yeah, awesome, awesome shot here. I love the way this top half of the body flows upwards like this. Really adds again a lot of movement to the scene, like what the cape does later on. The cape's not very well done here, I won't lie. It really doesn't add too much in this scene. In fact, it actually kind of makes things a little bit harder to tell what's going on. He really utilizes it really well where we're currently at. Yeah, this is a sick shot. There's the body just flying upwards, spinning. There's not really any meaning to this, I imagine, like this volume. This chapter. Again, I imagine it's just kind of just for coolness, just for show, just to show the artwork. Again, I doubt there's too much in the terms of story or anything we're going to be getting out of this. Might be wrong there, but Amazing sword. See ya. Looks like she got hurt a little bit in the leg. Sword's not quite as big as it is now, but it's still a massive sword. I think that was always probably a must-have for the author. I get food for this. Got it. Looks like it takes her along. As unhappy as he is about it. Hey, keep your distance, shorty. What? Because she's taken an interest in the arm. Looks like he always had the idea for Guts's design, didn't he? With the cannon arm, the mechanical arm, the eye gone. Not quite as many scars, I don't think. See, no scars or anything on the arm here. But the design is pretty much exactly the same again, except for the eye patch. I kind of like there being no eye patch. This eye patch looks a little silly, doesn't it? Doesn't look too bad. It does look a little silly though. Maybe because again we're so used to seeing Guts without it, just a closed eye, but I don't like it that much. So nice that he actually removed that. You don't need to get so close, do you, jerk? Oh, this? Alright. A little breathing room. Well, Puck looks exactly the same, except for the wings. The wings look slightly different. Also, these look like more elf wings though, don't they? The wings before look like dragonfly wings. Yikes. Oh, so cute. Ah, little pug. So it was worth reading this just to see this shot right here. An elf? I've never seen one. He's just an annoying pest. Some martial arts. Damn, that horse drawing right there. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. We're on a horse. How am I supposed to distance myself? Then you get off and walk, Guts. But yeah, nice to see that the comedy of Puck was always kind of part to play as well. Again, I think it's quite needed, as much as we had pretty much no comedy almost for the Band of the Hawk arc stuff, which wasn't bad at all. Again, I really liked that. There was a few comedic moments, but again, I really do think you need that kind of, even the darkest horror movies and such, for example, sometimes they have like at least a few laughs in there because you need a relief at times. You can't be tense the whole time. Although I will say a lot of my favourite horror movies are kind of tense the whole time. Hereditary, some of the best like latest ones, Hereditary, Babadook for example, they don't really have much comedy at all, if at all. They're quite tense the whole way through. So I guess I'm kind of wrong in saying that, but I do like a story with... my favourite horror movies are usually ones that are kind of horror comedy / horrors with a little bit of comedy in there, that don't take themselves too seriously. It's quite a difference from the best, which is again some of the before mentioned Babadook and Hereditary, for example, The Shining. Shining's got a few comedy moments in there, but I'm trying to think of kind of more serious ones. But ones along those lines, I'll say they're some of the best, and they are some of my favourites in a way. But some of my absolute favourites are those ones that again just don't take themselves too seriously. One of my favourite zombie movies, I think I brought this up quite a bit, Return of the Living Dead. Watched that again last night. Absolutely love that movie. I saw quite an interesting change from the intro scene as well when the kind of Tar Man was coming out. They changed the music. I saw the intro with some more serious music and the intro with the music they used. The more serious music, funny enough, was actually one of the JoJo's endings for part 3. The like an Egyptian song, but again, it sounded quite serious in the version that was in Return of the Living Dead. But such a difference of kind of setting out things from that kind of more serious song to a kind of less serious one that they used. And it changed the tone a hell of a lot. I much prefer the tone that they actually went with in comparison to the kind of other one. But it was really cool hearing a JoJo song. Obviously didn't originate from JoJo's or anything. In Return for the Living Dead, all these years after I watched it. But yeah, it's one of my favourites because I watched that at a really young age. Probably my favourite zombie movie, although I'm probably forgetting some. I really like the zombies in that movie. They're not just one shot to the head and they're dead. But yeah, enough of that tangent. Probably could use a few tangents because I imagine, again, this episode's probably going to be quite short. As we just flick Puck away. Shut up! I'm hungry here. Keep screaming, I'll boil and eat you. Don't yell at the poor thing. Stupid. That's right. Hehe. What? Also, the dialogue is really not as smooth at all. The dialogue was really not as smooth. It feels like saying it out loud, it really doesn't feel real. Doesn't feel like things that these guys would say. Yeah, maybe it's just because the guts we have at this point is slightly different. But it doesn't kind of flow off the tongue. Shut up, I'm hungry here. Keep screaming, I'll boil and eat you. Don't yell at the poor thing. Stupid. That's right. What? I thought you'd be scarier. But I guess I was wrong, since an elf is this close to you. Don't say I'm like a pet. You couldn't be a bad man. Cute shot. Again, it's really weird seeing like a young girl Griffith. I wonder if Griffith's design was based off this. I wonder, because it's quite a strange thing to do to, again, this was before the actual story. It's quite a strange thing to have such a prominent character in Griffith and then having a side character like this that looks exactly like him, but not as important at all. Kind of takes away a little bit. So I don't think that would be the case. I don't think, what I'm trying to say is I don't think this is a character that we're actually going to see in the series, this little girl here. We've had someone that looks very much alike, but is so much more prominent. If they ever did try and make this girl a big character, Griffith would just kind of overshadow her. And yeah, if you try to remember her design, you just remember Griffith's, for example. Huh. I wonder. Uncle! Fricka? Fricka. Interesting name. What in the world? Why have you come back? Why? Why have you come back? Nice to hear that. Fricka! It's Fricka! Mum, it's Fricka! Not a nice to see you've come back. Why? Something must be up. Maybe. Oh, maybe this is here now because the same thing that we're seeing that's happening in the actual Berserk is happening in the prototype. Perhaps maybe they're the elves attacking here as well in this prototype story. Fricka! Mom! Dad! How? I thought we'd never... The wagon was attacked by bandits. It was what? That man rescued me. But he just wanted food though. Nice setting here. Nice background drawings here. Again, like I said earlier, the quality of the art hasn't changed at all. Quality of the art has always been immense. Vlad Tepes. What the hell is that? What's that? It's what we call our thief lord. He's a madman. Insane. It was over 10 years ago, during a war with the neighbouring country. The lord took 500 prisoners, impaled every last one of them on wooden stakes and lined them up along the border. Not just soldiers either. Women and children. Priests. All of them. Damn, that's horrible. Again, through their arse as well. Even after 10 years, we have been commanded to not. Sorry. Even after 10 years, we have been commanded not to remove them. They still stand on the hill at the border. I figured they weren't scarecrows, but even wartime was better than now. Damn, lot of dialogue here. Again, considering this is just like a one-off, maybe that's why there's so much text. You got to explain a bit more in a one-off story. When the Lord ran out of enemies, he began turning his hand against his own people. Several years ago, a sinister rumour started going around that the Lord was gathering young women from within his domain and butchering them night after night. No one believed it at first, but after a time, a girl's corpse surfaced in the river running behind a castle, a corpse skewered from its head through its torso. The story is that the Lord gathers girls to be maidservants. What? Why have you put maidservants as a one word? Surely you should just, instead of cutting it off where it says sir, you should just put maid space and then servants at the bottom. Who knows? 4 already chosen from this village and not one has come back safely. That is the thing. I'm not sure how they translate it, to be honest with you. Like with the Japanese, most of the time is quite a lot shorter. So I would imagine that the space bubbles couldn't fit in quite as much English text, but is it just that they somehow, they changed the text size? Did they change the text to make it fit into the holes, or do they actually create, or can they actually kind of have the full image and then just put a bubble where they want and make it as large as they want? I don't know. If you guys know, please let me know. But there's a fair few possibilities, isn't there? I'm personally thinking that they kind of translate it to something that fits with what's said, but also fits in with the bubbles. I can't imagine there's like, for example, there is actually a drawing of the top of this guy's head where the bubble is. Perhaps there is, and then they just pop this on top, but I kind of doubt it. I don't know. Maybe that is the case, because I think as an artist you would probably draw the whole scene and then put the text on top of it, perhaps. Like, again, I've got absolutely no idea. 4 already chosen from this village, and not one has come back safely. No one believed it at first. Oh, I already read that bit. And so, the 5th one's your daughter, right? She could have just run away. What a fool. Yeah. Then another girl probably would have been taken. Fricker. I know. That, but still. So sad. One more, ma'am. Oh, what's the matter, everyone? Ma'am? Weird. Like a word with him. What's happening with this woman's back? Oh, I think that's just shading. Really dark. It looked like she got stabbed or something. Again, I think there's bound to be a few little bits like that in this prototype version, isn't there? But again, that really does not look like guts right there, does it? Looks like a guy wearing sunglasses on a beach. Not the image you envision when you see guts. Also, I'm not sure why I'm only thinking about this now. It's the only time I've ever brought this up, by the way, this far into the manga and finishing the anime and the movies. But the name Guts is obviously it's very fitting, both in terms of guts having guts, but also in the fact that there's plenty of guts in this series. Again, I can't believe I'm only just bringing that up now. But very, very fitting name, isn't it? The blood and guts, as well as the actual guts of guts. I wonder what the reason is why he called him that. Was it because of the having guts, or was it because of the amount of blood and guts that we're going to see? Probably both. Who knows? Depends again, because in Japanese there's maybe different kind of thought processes behind that word as a Japanese word, because we know that there's two meanings usually to every piece of kanji. Perhaps the translation of guts in Japanese means something, again, quite fitting other than just guts as well. Probably sounds quite confusing the way I described that, but I promise I described that correctly. Kill the Lord! Kill the Lord! Hey, hey, hey! You ain't really serious, are you? Hey! Give me a break. That's the last thing I thought you'd say. Listen up. Killing the Lord means taking on that entire castle myself. Even if I sneak in, I'm dead if they find me. So where do I go here? Is it below and then left, I think? It's stupid. Why should I put my life on the line for people I don't even know? But there will be a due reward. Ha! A tiny village like this couldn't reward me with much. Yeah, I did get that right. So it's always down and then left. Unless it's too far down. If it's too far down, it's down, left, and then down again, I think. Again, what are these facial expressions from Guts? We never see him this happy in situations like these. And this expressive as well. We never see him this expressive. Unless it's something rageful. Unless it's in the opposite direction of the expression he's making here. But yeah, look at this again. He just looks like a guy sitting on a beach, like just chilling with sunglasses on, just having a beer, taking it easy. Oh, interesting that he's got a couple long strands of hair here. See that in real life sometimes. People that like are bald, but they've got like a few strands of hair that are really long. Must mean something, but I don't know what. Yeah, I don't like this. Just because again, it's because we've seen all of Guts' journey and story and the person he is now, and it's just so different to this Guts, although it's meant to be in the same kind of time span. Again, I understand that this was written before he knew any of that, probably, but it's just so strange seeing Guts like this. Please avenge my granddaughter. The girl who was found in the river was her granddaughter. I beseech you, avenge. Seems a bit more caring as well. This seems a bit nicer, a bit less depressed and angry and vengeful. Like him, like for example, just him putting his hand on this old woman here. I don't think he'd do that in the current story, even if it was a grieving old woman, sad that she lost her granddaughter and begging Guts to kill the lord of a land. I don't think he'd put his hands on her like this. I think he might end up doing the job, but I don't think he'd be this kind of compassionate about it. Guts, sorry, old lady. I've got nothing to do with just and generous chivalry. I could care less. Yeah, and that's the kind of more standard as to what I was expecting. But we also kind of know he is a good person, if you know what I'm saying. He probably would help this woman out as much as he wouldn't kind of show outwardly that he wants to or anything. Interesting. Okay, I'll be going now. Ah, what a low thing to say. Ah, I knew it'd be useless. He calls himself a knight. How could you? What a thing to say. Why not help them? Ah, pipe down. Jerk, 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 jerk. What gives? The old lady who had a family member killed. You should understand her feelings the most. To an extent, I guess. I mean, I guess the Band of the Hawk were his family. And I guess he already knew that that would happen. Or perhaps at this point he actually thought Guts' family, he'd write about Guts' actual family and them being killed or something. Yeah, this is quite the standard thing that we're used to seeing, isn't it? Like Guts, like not wanting to do something for other people, and then Puck trying to fucking persuade him, trying to get him to do it. Like that has always been a thing. She'll forget eventually, once she goes senile. Really. Black Knight. What? I'm sorry. I went and told everyone that you're a very powerful knight. That's why all those. That's why they all said those unreasonable things. I'm sorry. It's my fault. I didn't really care. But also, what? I want to say thank you. Could I take something of yours with me? Well, I ain't got much to offer, just weapons. Anything would do. Is that a no? Oh, was he going to give her the eye patch? Interesting, okay. Will this do? Pretty gross thing to give someone. A sweaty old eye patch where your eye used to be. Something though. It's a nice act of him to do for her. But I'm not sure how likely this would be. Thank you. You want to save her, right? Don't you, Mr. Black Knight? Don't care. Selfish scumbag. Why are you always like this? Only caring about bitterness. You don't even give a damn for what's around you. Still only halfway through this, by the way. I wasn't expecting it to be this long, but it is hella long. You're gonna live for nothing but dead people. You shouldn't do that. It's sad. My mother had her innards ripped out and eaten by them while she was still alive. She was torn apart. What? Well, that's quite the different. Well, we didn't really know much about his actual mum. All we saw was her dead body hanging on a tree while Guts was on the floor. Guess it's a slightly different story here. My mother had her innards ripped out and eaten by them while she was still alive. Eaten by them. She was torn apart. Yeah, maybe that's another reason why it was called Guts. She became a piece of meat right in front of me. Yeah, and that didn't happen in the actual story, did it? So it kind of goes with what we said earlier. Or what Puck said earlier about him knowing best about that. Guts, it hurts. Sorry, Puck. Oh yeah, I did forget sometimes that I think Puck kind of feel the things of the people near him. I forget about that all the time, to be honest with you. I think that's the thing. I could be wrong saying that, but I think we did hear that a little while ago. But that's all I've got. Killing them is all that keeps me going. I ain't got no life to spare for other people. Guts. Yeah. The woman goes off. Girl. Isn't that the brand? It looks. I don't think that's exactly the same logo as the brand, but it looks a lot like it, doesn't it? There she goes. That crest was. Maybe this is like a prototype of the brand, and this is meant to be the brand logo anyway. Yeah, I was expecting there to be at least some action in this first prototype. Again, this is really long, isn't it? Bloody hell. I was not expecting this to be so long. Ooh. Well done. You may leave, guards. This is really nicely designed, this place. Really nicely designed. I love the fact we can actually like kind of see up here, almost the ceiling. Really gives you an actual kind of feeling of being in that room, knowing how large it is and everything. That's a really awesome drawing, actually. Welcome, girl. Guy looks normal. Definitely changed his character to look a little less normal in the actual publishing version, didn't he? He's got some women's shoes on there. They are not men's shoes. That's Vlad Tepes. How to say that? Vlad Tepes. So young. Come closer and show me your face. I can't stop moving. Beautiful and full of life, too. Oh ho! Such cold hands. And is he like... She said you can't stop moving. Is he like almost based off a vampire or something? Like that kind of alluring vampire. Kind of Dracula-esque kind of presence. Interesting. And that smell. It's like something's rotting. He's not human? No. Gah, ugh. Look at this. Look like a cowboy. Wouldn't it be a good idea to skewer yourself now and then? I'd be happy to put an eye patch on you. Black Knight! Yo, I have a little business to deal with. With Baldy here. Yeah, it looks like a fucking... like a Western character. Really looks like a Western character. I really don't like these smiles. It's so strange to say that. I'd love to see Guts smile. I'd love to see that at this point in the... he has smiled a few times. In revenge kind of smile. I'd like to see him do a happy smile at this point in the story, in the actual where we are in the manga. But that's the thing. It makes those moments all the better if that does ever happen. That's funny. It's like, will he ever smile again? I'm not sure he will. Perhaps at some point something good might happen to him again, but I'd kill to see this in the manga right now. But seeing it here is very different, isn't it? It's very different. And like I said a minute ago, the smiles that we did see in this volume, for example, were again kind of revenge, kind of not happy smiles, but smiles in a kind of sinister manner. I would love to see that. Of course, this was going to be part of this first chapter. Of course, in the first ever prototype of Berserk, this probably wasn't the first ever prototype. It's a bit too well done to be a first ever prototype, in my opinion. Like, if this is a first ever prototype of a story, then bloody hell. I mean, I guess that would kind of make sense because Berserk is a massive hit, so maybe it was, but this is so well done, I don't think I can actually believe that. Yeah, nice to see that. The eyeballs were always a big part of the story in Berserk, always there right from the start. Yeah, the loose eyeballs. Ho ho! How gallant! Who are you? Ugh. You ain't dying. So it looks like I ain't got the wrong guy. No matter. Whoever you are, I won't let you live after shooting at me. Black Knight! What the hell? happened here? A sea of weapons struck down upon him. Lost his footing. Not sure if that was like random or what. Fucked a few of the crossbow. Either way, it looks like he's getting assaulted by fucking swords, axes, all types of weapons, arrows. Eee! Gods! Oh ho, a trifle. Was he talking as in like trifle dessert? Or a trifling guy? I thought he would provide more enjoyment, but humans die so soon. You really do seem like an impaling lard ass. Gods! Again, there really are a few facial expressions and such we just have never seen from Guts in the actual Berserk story, isn't there? Don't get worked up. The fun's just starting. This is like a big page right here, but this is almost just like an average page or average panel in the current story, isn't it? I think I'd probably be a lot more impressed by this if this was like the first thing I actually saw from this series. Ugh. Even then, I actually think I much prefer the actual start of the series. Now it's your turn. I'm gonna mince you up, dog of Juana. Is this in Spain right now or something? Damned whelp. Oh, Jesus. This. Bloody hell. This might be like one of the most powerful demons we've seen. Even in the story of where we're up to. Bloody hell. How do you know that name? The Lord of... Sorry. Dog of Vuana. How do you know that name? The Lord of we who are not human, the most powerful god of this world, the name of the ancient god of darkness, Vuana. There's two of these guys? Oh no, they're two different panels. It's hard to tell. There's this little gap right here that tells me that there's two panels. Which again makes me probably believe that they can actually just add these kind of white text bits wherever they want. Boy, who the hell are you? Pretty cool design. It was a bit like name. I forget his name. I want to say Lucius, but it's definitely not Lucius. Skull Knight and Zod. That's the one. Zod. Lucius. Yeah, it looks a little bit like Zod. Lower half, kind of Baphomet, kind of lower half of the body, kind of devil, and top half very different. That pig. Horns. Boy. Ah. Yeah, pretty cool design. Pretty cool design. Simple, but pretty cool. Really like the hands. Hands are really awesome. Kind of bony and structure of them. Let's do this. Ogbull. Ogbull. That's crazy, Guts. This guy seems really like too powerful. Almost. You bastard! Nice shots here. Love this shot. That looks really cool, doesn't it? That looks like that's a really cool shot right here. Shadow, cape. And he doesn't. You can tell again. He doesn't quite know how to use the cape at the minute, does he? I was bringing the cape up. I brought the cape up quite a lot in the last couple chapters because it's had so much. It's done so much in terms of the flow and such, and here it really doesn't do very much at all in terms of the flowing of these scenes, does it? It's just there. It's just there in all of these. For example, if like this one, it doesn't even look like it's there. For example, if this was a current chapter, we would have saw his cape kind of fly across the screen, and it would have actually kind of created a bit of momentum for Guts' character, and we would have seen where his character was going based off the cape. In this scene, for example, it's easy enough to actually follow where Guts is going, and the cape does do a little bit in terms of telling us that he's flying forward. But in this one, for example, it really don't know where Guts is going here. Is he going up? Is he landing down? Is he moving to the side? We don't actually know at all. Whereas the flow of the cape would very much tell us if it was kind of flowing off to the side. So it's nice to see the kind of improvements the author's made in his artwork as well. Quite interesting to kind of compare, isn't it? Ooh. Gah. Well done. I praise you for getting this far. But after all, you're only human. This is your limit. No! Didn't I say I was going to mince you? Here's the cannon. Nice. Blowed his face up. And this finishes it. Oh, damn. Yeah, his face is very messed up there. This is a nice shot, isn't it? You're getting face kind of imploding on itself and then cut right in half. Oh, the monster actually looked quite a bit bigger than he is in this scene here, isn't he? He looked that way. Yeah, there's all his innards. That one right there. Hope you guys haven't seen this movie. Almost looks like someone. I think it's like Freddy's Dead. Looks like one of the kind of sleep demons from Freddy's Dead. When they tried explaining how Freddy is the way he is. Yeah, don't bother watching those last couple movies from the series. Don't bother. I did think the third one was my favourite for a long time, but I rewatched that relatively recently, and it wasn't as good as I remember it being. I actually now think the first one's probably my favourite. First one is a classic. That's a cool shot right here. That is a cool shot. The finishing blow. He did it. Impossible. There's no way a human could beat me. An apostle of Vuana. No way. Who else but a human would hate you bastards this much? I was going to bring this up earlier. So there's the insignia that was on the castle and the brand. We didn't actually see any shot of him kind of feeling any pain or anything from the brand. So maybe that was not implemented yet, but he has got the brand. That was a question I did have. Is he branded? Again, a lot of the points really are set out. A lot of the major points in this series are set out right from the off, aren't they, with this prototype? Yeah, that's a pretty cool shot. Change the location of his branding as well, and that's not where his heart is. That's on the other side of his chest. That's quite interesting placement. That's the brand of sacrifice to Vuana. A human's. Guts, hurry! It's collapsing. Alright, so we're almost finished. And this is quite a long chapter, isn't it? There's a shot of Guts we're used to. Thank goodness. It ain't about you. I just killed my enemy, that's all. What? Nope, it's nothing. Guts sure was scary then. A lot more than Vaughana's apostle. He looks so sinister. Let's go. Hey, aren't you gonna even Hey, aren't you even gonna get those wounds treated, son? I'll give them as much flesh and blood as they want. While I'm at it, I'll jam some steel in their heads. Prototype end. Okay, interesting. Again, I actually quite like looking back at that. Again, it wasn't my favourite piece of Berserk. It's actually probably one of my least favourite bits of Berserk, to be honest with you guys. But again, you can very much see the precedent which was set, and a lot of the story really was set out right from the start. Really did know exactly what he was going for here. Kind of dark main character, darker story. He didn't fully go with that darkness in Guts. You can kind of see from panels with him like doing these cheesy smiles and poses and such. It didn't go fully that kind of despair dark route with Guts, which he has done in the actual manga. So yeah, that was a nice. Again, he made a lot of changes for the better, didn't he? Going from this prototype to the original, there was nothing I can say that he done better in this prototype than he actually done in the full-fledged version of the story, which is always a good sign. Obviously good for us, but again, we've got little glimpses here and there, like shots like this, for example, of that Guts. But yeah, Guts definitely the biggest change, isn't he? Puck is almost exactly the same. The kind of almost stories of the demons and the characters are pretty much the same. Yeah, Guts definitely the kind of most interesting changes, and a lot of changes for the better, again, in my opinion. As much as it makes it a bit more depressing and dark, I kind of like that for Guts. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll be back next time with hopefully the rest of the story with the elves. Again, a bit sad that we couldn't continue that in this chapter, and quite the strange place to put this, but yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. Let me know what you guys thought of this prototype down in the comment section. Also, what you guys thought of the last chapter with the elves as well. Leave a like on the video if you guys did like the video, and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date with these videos. I will be back on Friday, I believe, for you guys, so hopefully join me there and enjoy the rest of your day. Oh, I forgot to look, actually. I almost forgot about that. The cover for the next volume, obviously it won't take too long on this, but really awesome, isn't it? I love the colouring, especially on this. This is actually one of my favourite colours right here. Kind of like a tealish, kind of really light, kind of greenish blue. I really like that colour. Yeah, Guts, again, very much different face. As much as there's only a slight change, I think the ears are probably a bit more tipped. Maybe that's one of the big changes, but there really is quite a difference in their faces, even though there's not that much of a difference. The little differences really make quite an impact, don't they? Now, his ears are still quite tipped here, not as much. It looks almost a bit more youthful here as well. Looks like he's been through quite a bit more in this, these ones. Obviously, he has much more scars as well in this version. Got more of a spikier look on his armor. But yeah, really awesome visual here. Is Puck green? I didn't realise Puck was that colour. I just thought Puck was like the normal colour of a human. Guess not. I never envisioned him like that. I think in the series, in the anime, we saw him in the same colour as like humans. Maybe it's just to kind of reflect this elf. And just a bit of artwork colouring, for example. Like what we see from JoJo's, where they kind of changing the colour. But yeah, I really like this artwork here. Kind of demon elf at the top there looming. Actually the biggest figure on the screen, funny enough. Wow. Obviously Guts is the biggest figure on the screen, but this takes up just as much space from kind of beginning to end. Yeah, awesome artwork there. Can't wait to get into this one and continue off the elf story again. Bit of a shame that we couldn't today, but yeah, looking forward to that next time. Again, let me know what you guys thought of this chapter in the comment section, and enjoy the rest of your day, guys.